How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis, and we've got a new poll from the Old School RuneScape team, so let's go straight into this and vote in this poll. This is Old School RuneScape's content poll 46, for the Wintertodt rewards and the Superior Slayer encounters. All the questions in this poll come from the latest developer blog for the Wintertodt rewards. I'll provide a link to my video on that at the end of this video. So let's get straight into question 1. Should the Pyromancer outfit, a 4-piece set which gives 2.5% experience boost to fire making, be one of the potential rewards from the Wintertodt? Now, I think these types of outfits are quite well balanced. They give small amounts of experience to the skill that they are involved in. My main problem with this Pyromancer outfit is the fact that fire making is insanely quick, it's very easy to bank, and it's not particularly a hard skill. Maybe you sink about a month into it at most. However, I don't think this is enough for me to vote no to this, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 2. Should the Tomb of Fire be a potential reward from the Wintertodt? The Tomb of Fire provides a +8 magic attack and defense, and can be charged to provide unlimited fire runes, and increases the max hit of fire spells by 50% when equipped. The Tomb of Fire will require level 50 magic to equip. Now, in the developer blog, they never mentioned any requirements for equipping this Tomb of Fire. 50 magic makes sense, and hopefully that means that lower level magic doesn't really get affected by it, because obviously fire spells, especially at lower level, are quite good. When you're at level 50 plus, they're kind of redundant. So I think this will work out well. Another problem I had with this the other day was, combined with the combination staff and the rune pouch, these 3 items will basically mean that you have so many runes you can cast as many spells as possible, which I suppose some people might consider as quite a good thing, but to me it seems weird to effectively be able to cast unlimited or a high amount of spells without having the need to bank. But once again, I don't see this issue as big enough for me to vote no, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 3. If the Tomb of Fire is added to the game, should it protect you from Dragonfire whilst you have it equipped? I'm going to go ahead and vote no. I really dislike the fact that they keep polling things to protect you from Dragonfire. You've got a Dragonfire shield, and you've got an anti-Dragonfire shield. Those are the things that should protect you from fire. I don't see why we have to keep adding it to new items, or existing items that we've already got in game. I saw someone posting on 2007 Reddit recently, suggesting that the Dragon Plate body should protect you from Dragonfire, which I thought was completely ridiculous. Moving on to question 4. Should Superior Slayer encounters be unlockable for 150 points from Slayer Masters? Superior Slayer monsters are high-level versions of Slayer monsters, which have slim chances of appearing during certain tasks. Players who kill these Superior Slayer encounters will receive the equivalent of 3 drops from the normal Slayer monster. Once unlocked, these Slayer encounters will be toggleable if you have them enabled or disabled. Now, I really like the idea of this update. It adds a little bit of variety to Slayer, and it adds a new reward from the Slayer reward point shop. However, there's something, to me, when I look at it, that says this isn't Old School RuneScape, so I want to go ahead and vote no to this. Question 5. Should 3 dwarves be added to the blast furnace on world 358, who will pedal the conveyor belt, operate the pump and shovel the coke? Players will not be able to disrupt the running of the furnace on this world. However, using the blast furnace on this world will cost you 60,000 coins an hour. I'm going to go ahead and vote no to this. I really think that this is a terrible solution to stopping people sabotaging blast furnace. There are so many better ways of doing it. For example, making it harder to break the machinery, and or limiting the amount of time that you can go on these operations. Adding NPCs that just automatically do it all just for a small cost really doesn't appeal to me, and I hope that this fails so we can get a better solution in game. Question 6. Should 2 free-to-play worlds be converted to skill total worlds? These will require total levels of 500 plus and 750 plus in the skills that are available for non-members. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Hopefully this will allow more experienced free-to-play players to go into a world that's got less bots and is much calmer because there's less players running around. Question 7. Should the hit splats dealt by other players be tinted to a slightly different colour to make it clear which hits are yours? This feature will be toggleable. Now, they polled something very similar to this the other week, changing our hit splats so it would be different to other players. That failed, and I don't really know why. I quite like this feature, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 8. Should clicking an entry in your Grand Exchange history create a new buy offer for the selected item? I can't see any reason why you wouldn't want that. It seems like a nice quality of life update for people that use the Grand Exchange a lot. Question 9. Should the Barbarian Assault Queen kill count limit be increased from 15 to 40? This is something I've got no real problem against. I'm sure I remember them changing it from like 5 to 15 maybe a couple of years ago now, but this will make it even better for the players that are in Barbarian Assault more. Question 10. Should the big delay on the Barbarian Assault dispensers be removed? Now, this isn't going to be completely game-breaking if this remains or not, but to me, as far as I'm aware, this has always been in Barbarian Assault, and it's a key part of the game. You have to, pull the dispenser, and then you get the items. You don't just get the items as soon as you click on the dispenser. And as someone who enjoys Barbarian Assault, and I have played a fair amount of it a while ago, then this was never really a problem to me. And I don't really see why anyone has had a problem with this, so I'm going to go ahead and vote no. This just feels like someone really impatient suggested this question, which is funny because RuneScape is a game where you require patience. Question 11. Should it be possible to fletch logs above the normal tier into arrow shafts? Each tier will provide you with a number of arrow shafts equal to the level required to fletch the logs, plus 15, allowing oak logs to give you 30, arrow shafts, willow to give you 45, etc. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I can't imagine many people utilising this, potentially Iron Men, and that'll allow them to get a lot more arrow shafts quickly. Not many people even make arrows, so it won't really affect the economy too much. Question 12. Should the Ring of the Gods and the Ring of the Gods' Eye be buffed to provide more prayer bonus? The Ring of the Gods will provide a plus 4 prayer bonus, and the Ring of the Gods' Eye will provide a plus 8 prayer bonus. Currently, the Ring of the Gods provides a plus 3 prayer bonus, and the Ring of the Gods' Eye provides a plus 6 prayer bonus. I don't have any huge objections against this. I believe this will allow the Ring of the Gods to compete with the Ring of Suffering a little bit more, which seems pretty fair. I suppose the main issue I have with it now is they've added so many prayer buffed items recently that you can get insane prayer bonuses, which I'm not a huge fan of, especially when you consider what you could have got at the start of Old School RuneScape. But that's not enough for me to vote no, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 13. Should it be possible to add the key for the Dark Beast Cave to the keyring? This seems like common sense, and I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I think it'd be quite nice if we could add all our keys to the keyring, but for some reason they're not really polling that. Question 14. Should an agility shortcut be added between the Nature Grotto and the nearby Fairy Ring? This is something that would be insanely useful, and I'm sure only a few players would really use. I think this would be a fairly decent agility shortcut, depending on the requirement for it, and potentially if you need to do things like the achievement diaries around the area to use it. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes, because I hope that they get those two things right. Question 15. Should a quick start option be added to the ladders in the Barbarian Assault wave rooms? This sounds like it's going to be very useful, so I'm going to vote yes. However, I'm questioning what it's going to do. Is it going to throw you into the quick start room? Is it going to put you into your regular wave room? I don't know. But hopefully it will just make getting into Barbarian Assault a little bit quicker. Question 16. Should Watson be added to the NPC contact spell? He'll be able to let you know which clues he's currently holding. I'm going to go ahead and vote yes here. This will be insanely useful for anyone trying to do master clue scrolls. Question 17. Should Slayer Masters let you know if you'll need a piece of equipment from their shop to complete the task they've just assigned? This sounds like a very nice quality of life update, and something that I'd quite like to have in game. I'm pretty sure that the tell me more about the Slayer task option does this anyway, but actually having it in the assignment is much nicer. Question 18. Should an NPC who grinds items, which would normally be ground to dust using a pestle and mortar, be added to the game? He'll charge 50 coins per item he grinds, and will be able to process banknotes for items that exist as banknotes. Now, when I was covering the developer blog, I said that depending on if this NPC is near a bank, and depending on if it can process banknotes, will determine if I want this in game. Seeing as you can already grind items at a bank, that's fairly fast. But being able to just banknote an entire stack of items and get them all ground really quickly is insanely powerful. And I don't like this, so I'm going to go ahead and vote no. I don't feel you should be able to grind items like this that quickly, especially when it's only 50 coins per grind. Think about prices for, say, planks. They start at 100 for a regular plank, 250 for an oak plank, etc. So I think the price for this is way off. Question 19. Should it be possible to cook cacti for water with any slash item instead of just knives? This would be really nice for when you're in the desert, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. You don't have to bring a separate knife, you could just use your weapon you're holding. Obviously depending on which weapon you've got. If you've got a blunt weapon, then you won't really be able to do it. Question 20. Should it be possible to purchase an infinite camulet from Lazim for 1 million coins after completing Elankra's Lament? This is something I'm not a fan of, so I'm going to go ahead and vote no. Having unlimited teleports from the camulet seems insane to me, especially because at the moment it's only got 4. I think increasing it for a smaller price, up to maybe 8 or 10, would have been quite well balanced, but having unlimited teleports, to me, seems completely wrong. Question 21. Should it be possible to charge the Ring of Suffering using Rings of Recoil? The Ring of Suffering would have a limit of 100,000 recoil charges, which is 2,500 Rings of Recoil, and will provide the same recoil effect while charged. The Ring of Suffering would not degrade into dust once it runs out of charges, it would just be uncharged. When they did the first Ring of Recoil effect for the Ring of Suffering, I believe I voted yes. However, now I see how useful the Ring of Suffering is, I don't think adding additional effects to it is really a good idea. I think adding the Rings of Recoil is a nice addition to the potential of having this effect on the ring. However, I really don't think that the Ring of Suffering needs this at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and vote no. If you want a recoil effect, then use a Ring of Recoil. If you want the Ring of Suffering, use a Ring of Suffering. Heck, the Vengeance spell has a similar effect to the Ring of Recoil. So if you want, you can have the Ring of Suffering and cast Vengeance. This just feels like they're trying to add more and more features and effects to something that's already pretty damn useful. Question 22. Should it be possible to own all Family Crest gauntlets simultaneously for a one-off fee of 500,000 coins? I don't have any major quarrels with this. It feels weird to be able to have all of the gauntlets at the same time. However, I thought they polled something for this a long time ago that passed, but maybe I just imagined it. The one-off fee seems like quite a bit, but seeing as these gauntlets are so powerful, then I think having it so high is actually fairly balanced. Question 23. Should the number of gem rocks found in the Shiloh Village underground gem mine be increased? Now I think this is quite good, and it will help anyone trying to, obviously, get gems. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. However, I'm slightly worried because there's another question I believe coming up that's asking if we want bank deposit boxes in this area. And a bank deposit box right there, getting gems would just be ridiculously easy. Obviously, I'm going to be voting no to that question when that comes up. However, I worry that both of them are going to pass and it's just going to be overpowered. In fact, here we go. Question 24. Should a deposit box be added to the Shiloh Village underground gem mine? I'm going to vote no for the reason I just stated. Question 25. Should charter ships have separate stocks for each port? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. People want to get themselves charter ship stocks, and having it shared seems quite a weird system. I understand that it limits the amount of resources people can get from these ships. However, with the popularity of people going to these shops, then I think having separate stocks is perfectly fine. Question 26. Should it be possible to claim a free skill cape HUD if you're in possession of the skill cape? I don't have any major quarrels with this, so I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. However, I do kind of dislike the idea that if we keep doing this to pairs of items, for example the skill cape and the skill cape HUD, then we might have to start doing it for other paired items. Which, when you start thinking about paired items in game, there are a lot, and just giving you free versions of those items, which are usually quite cheap, seems like really weird solution for just people losing these items. Question 27. Should the Fremnik achievement diary task to mine gold ore in the Arzinian mine include the version of the mine visited during the Between the Rock quest, and not just the version following the completion of the quest? Like I said in my developer blog video, as long as they're the same mine, I have no real problem with that. And obviously if you can mine gold in the Arzinian mine during the quest, then to me, you've done the achievement. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes to that. I suppose for people that have already done this achievement diary there, you might be a bit annoyed that they had to complete the quest in order to do it. Question 28. Should it be possible to get multiple salve shards? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes to that. I think that seems fair. I've not really explored that part of the game where you can get salve shards. However, looking at the 2007 RuneScape's wiki, it looks like that you can get multiple of these shards by using the drop trick anyway. So actually allowing players to get multiple shards seems like a fair update. Question 29. Should a shortcut be added to the crystals found within the Haunted Mine? This shortcut would only be usable following the completion of the Haunted Mine quest. So like I said in the previous question, I haven't really explored that part of the game much. Part of me's thinking I don't really see any reason why not. It's got the quest requirement on it. However, because I've not actually done that piece of content yet, I think I'm going to skip this question. Question 30. Should a teleport to follow the bard be added as a perk to the music cape of achievement? I think this is quite funny and rather useful for people trying to do their clue scrolls. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 31. Should stores which sell jugs also sell packs of 100 jugs? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I don't have any major quarrels with this. I imagine Iron Men will benefit quite well from this. Personally, I haven't really used jugs that much in game. However, I think making wine, you definitely require them. That's probably the main reason people need jugs. Question 32. Should the Staff of the Dead be able to autocast Crumble Undead? I'm going to go ahead and vote no to this. I really don't like just adding this random ability to a staff that's already been in the game for such a long time and a spell that's been in the game for such a long time. I understand the link, obviously Staff of the Dead, Crumble Undead, makes sense. However, it just seems like, again, like with the Ring of Suffering and the Ring of Recoils, just an additional feature they're trying to add to something that doesn't require it. Question 33. Should the rogue equipment earned from the rogue's den give anyone wearing the full set double loot when pickpocketing? However, the standard amount of experience is still given. I'm going to go ahead and vote no to this. I don't like the idea of being able to get double loot whenever I'm pickpocketing. I think a chance would be a much better piece of gameplay than completely always double loot. Question 34. Should the NPCs who allow you to start temple trekking minigame have a right-click escort option which allows you to quickly start? Like with Barbarian Assault, I think this would be quite nice to help anyone that's doing temple trekking get into the game quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Question 35. Should the back gate of the Wizards Guild be opened? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. That should be a nice quality of life update allowing you to traverse the Annal just a little bit easier. Question 36. Should it be possible to pay farmers to cut down fruit trees? Seeing as you can already pay farmers to cut down your regular trees, I've got no real quarrels with this. However, whether or not you've got to pick the fruit before they can cut it down is some kind of question that I've got. However, I suppose that's not going to make a huge difference if it gets in game or not. Question 37. Should a toggle be added to the bank options interface that lets you hide the deposit worn items button? Now, I think people that are accidentally clicking the deposit worn items button so much that they require updates to stop them must be really stupid. However, if they really need it, then I've got no real objection against having an option to toggle it. I think it's ridiculous that they require it. However, because most people aren't stupid and can actually click what they're doing in the bank, then this isn't going to be something that they're going to be using. Finally, question 38. Pyramid Plunder rooms contain 4 doors, one of which allows you to progress to the next room. That door is random. However, sometimes that door can change whilst you're inside the room. Should the final door you check always allow you to progress, even if it's changed? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I imagine doing Pyramid Plunder before this would be insanely annoying. You could constantly be checking the doors. I'm sure it wouldn't take too long to actually find the one after, but you could have to check like 7 or 8 doors before you even can progress, which would be a pain in the arse. This would just make it so that you only have to check the 4 doors that exist, as opposed to having to double check doors. Let's go ahead and cast these votes, and then we can check out the current results. So it's been about 1.5 days since this poll came out, and so far we've got 20,955 votes. 87.4% of those want the Pyromancer outfit to be offered as a potential reward from the Wintertodt. 74.3% want the Tomb of Fire to be added as a potential reward from the Wintertodt. And 55.5% want the Tomb of Fire to offer Dragonfire protection when equipped. 88.3% want Superior Slayer encounters to be added from the Slayer reward point shop. 87.7% want 3 dwarves to be added to the Blast Furnace to automate the system of the conveyor belt, the pump, and the coke, but only on world 358. 84.5% want free-to-play skill total worlds. 85.6% want hit splats from other players to be coloured a slightly different colour so they can see which hit splats are theirs. 81.5% want clicking an entry in your Grand Exchange history to create a new buy option for that item. 90.2% want the Barbarian Assault Queen count limit to be increased from 15 to 40. 91.4% want the delay on the Barbarian Assault dispensers to be removed. 86.7% want to be able to craft arrow shafts from logs above normal tier. 89.2% want the Ring of the Gods and the Ring of the Gods Eye to be buffed to provide more prayer bonus. 95.5% want the Dark Beast Cave key to be added to the key ring. 93.1% want an agility shortcut to be added between the Nature Grotto and the nearby Fairy Ring. 94% want the quick start option to be added to the ladders in the Barbarian Assault wave rooms. 92.1% want Watson to be added to the NPC contact spell so you can find out which clue scrolls he's holding. 87.5% want Slayer Masters to let you know if you'll need a piece of equipment from their shop to complete the task they just assigned you. 81.5% wants an NPC to grind items, which you can normally grind using a pestle and mortar, charging 50 coins per item, and you'll be able to use banknotes on this NPC. 91.4% want it to be able to cut cacti by using any slash weapon instead of just knives. 87.4% want it to be possible to purchase an infinite camulet from Lazim for 1 million coins. 82.7% want to be able to charge the Ring of Suffering with Rings of Recoil, allowing the Ring of Suffering to get the Ring of Recoil effect. 90.8% want it to be possible to get all the Family Crest gauntlets simultaneously for 500,000 coins. 87.1% want more gems found in the Shiloh Village underground Gemrock mine. 79.8% want a deposit box to be added to the Shiloh Village underground Gemrock mine. 82.5% want the charter ships to have separate stocks for each port. 89.5% want it to be possible to claim a free Skill Cape HUD if you're in possession of the Skill Cape. 79.6% want the Fremennik Achievement Diary task to mine gold ore in the Arzinian mine to include the version of the mine visited during the Between the Rock quest and not just a version after the quest. 89.5% want it to be possible to get multiple Salve Shards. 92.3% want a shortcut to be added to the crystals found within the Haunted Mine, only after the Haunted Mine quest has been finished. 93.5% want a teleport to Fala the Bard to be added as a perk for the Music Cape of Achievement. 85.9% want stores which sell jugs to also sell packs of 100 jugs. 90.1% want the Staff of the Dead to be able to autocast Crumble Undead. 83.1% want the Rogue equipment to give you double loot when you're pickpocketing from NPCs. 94.3% want NPCs that start temple trekking to have a right-click escort option, allowing you to quickly start the game. 86.8% want the back gate of the Wizard Guild to be opened up. 83.5% want it to be possible to pay farmers to cut down your fruit trees. 78.8% want a toggle to be added to the bank options menu to let you hide the deposit worn items button. And 88.8% want the final door you check in Pyramid Plunder to always allow you to progress, even if it's changed. So this has been one of our biggest polls with almost 40 questions. The majority of this content seems to be passing, and you know what, I think I could live with the majority of this content in game. There's a few things such as the Staff of the Dead being able to autocast Crumble Undead, to me felt a bit weird, so I voted no. However, having it in game won't be, the worst thing in the world. Also, quite a few of these questions, for example, once again the Staff of the Undead question, have quite high pass percentages. So you know what, I can't argue with that. That's the beauty of this polling system in Old School RuneScape. So many people can vote for something that if you don't want it, then you can see that so many people want it in game, and you can't really complain about it. Having the 75% threshold for actually getting the things in game is quite good, because a large portion of the community want it in game. A few other interesting things, such as the NPC who grinds items, should be passing, which I think is quite interesting. And hopefully Barbarian Assault can get some nice quality of life updates that'll actually help people go there and enjoy it. It's a fun minigame that people really underappreciate because they just look at it and go, okay, I can get the fighter torso from there. And that's pretty much it, which is a shame really. Another interesting question is the fact that other people's hit splats are going to be changing, so when you're in a fight, you'll be able to see your own hit splats. Something that a similar question failed at not too long ago. In fact, the only questions failing at the moment are the Tomb of Fire questions. Actually adding the Tomb of Fire into the game is at 74.3%, which is incredibly close, and I imagine by the time this poll finishes, it's actually going to tick over the 75% mark. Many questions that hit around 74% do actually tick over to 75% by the time polls finish. And in fact, I'm actually quite glad to see that there's very low support for having the Dragonfire effect on the Tomb of Fire. Like I said, I don't understand why they're always asking if we want these effects added to items in-game. It makes sense on the Dragonfire shield and the anti-Dragonfire shield, but does it make sense on other things such as the Dragon Square, the Tomb of Fire, the Dragon Plate Body? To me, it doesn't. Once again, like I said, there's 20,955 votes. If you're not a part of that right now, why not? Make sure you go ahead and vote. This is a community game and every single update that comes into the game is voted on by us, the community. Click here to watch my video on the latest Old School RuneScape update, Elder Chaos, Druid HUD and Junk, as well as a small view of some changes I noticed on the Old School RuneScape website. And if you want to watch my video on the developer blog for this poll, please click here for the Wintertodt rewards. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, devlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.